Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cantina. Tonight we're doing football preview, kind of. We're going to change it up a little bit, just kind of BS, kind of talk.
Yeah.
Go through the motions instead of breaking down every game. Kind of getting burnt out. Seems a little boring. So, we're going to change it up a little bit. Just going to talk about the general news of what's going on for tomorrow. And some of the big news that came out today, including not a massive major injury, but I mean, fantasy wise, pretty relevant. Obviously, the Rams just signed Odell Beckham Jr., so that's another wrinkle in this injury. Robert Woods out for the year with a tear in his ACL at practice. Kind of crazy because the reports I read that he tore it like mid practice and then finished practicing and just thought he had hurt something in his knee and didn't realize it was a tear.
That's I was sitting here pulling him up, like reading about it too, to see when it all happened and everything. And that's what it says here too, is that it happened during practice and he was able to finish it out. And even did, he said he even did media interviews and stuff. And like, I guess was just like, like how the fuck, like,
I mean, you can walk on a torn ACL and stuff. Obviously, it hurts.
I can't imagine it feels good though.
No, it can't feel good. So he's definitely one tough son of a bitch.
Fuck yeah. It makes me wince thinking about him walking on it. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, finishing practice, so he was running. Cutting and everything. I mean, he can't get any worse. It was already torn. So,
true.
who knows, man? But they shut him down for the year. They already announced that. So, I honestly found out about this news when I got a notification that a guy had dropped Robert Woods in one of our fantasy leagues, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, why does that happen? He's like, if he's really that worried about OBJ, and then when I clicked on it and saw out, I was like, what? And yeah, that's how I found out.
Yeah, it was a surprise. It was a real surprise.
Yeah, it's crazy timing too. With just signing Odell,
I think that's like weird, maybe
crazy timing.
It is just like very like, yeah, it's very weird.
You think Odell's dad had anything to do with it?
Yeah, he made fucking
maybe he did it, dude. Maybe he did something to his cleats.
He
kind of fucked with his cleats.
Oh shit, who was that skater? Was it Nancy Kerrigan?
Yeah, Nancy Kerrigan, dude.
Yeah.
Just got beat over the fucking knee.
He did that to Robert Woods.
Oh yeah. Who knows?
I think so.
We'll never know.
I'm speculating. I think he's a sneaky son of a bitch.
It could happen.
I've seen that video he made. Who knows what this dude's capable of?
Yeah, he's capable of a lot of things. But yeah, I mean, obviously, before the Robert Woods injury, what did you think Odell's impact would be on the Rams?
I thought for sure Van Jefferson goes away, and that Odell. I thought he could honestly all right, I don't think we're ever going to get back to Odell levels that like he used to be at all. But I do think here and there he might be able to flash something close to that, because he was players who have that kind of talent or had it for that, and he did it for a decent amount of years too while he was in New York. So it was consistent, but players who have played at that level and done it somewhat consistently, even though he's gotten through a lot of injuries, he's obviously taken a step from him. I think it could still flash here and there. He could hit it.
Yeah.
So I think slotting into this offense as basically like the third wide receiver was going to be pretty solid for him. Because we've already seen a couple games now where defenses will really try and take away Cooper Kupp, and Robert Woods has benefited from that, and even Van Jefferson to a degree. So that's where I think he would have came in, and being a better receiver than Van Jefferson, I could see him, I don't know. I guess maybe putting up somewhat Robert Woods numbers almost, because Robert Woods really isn't, putting up like crazy numbers either. But I think Odell would have the capability, maybe not doing it consistently every game, because again, he's the third wide receiver. There's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I'm saying that that's a ceiling or something then.
Yeah, I got what you're saying. So you don't think he affected Kupp at all?
No, he does, because because again, he's a better receiver than Van Jefferson. So there's gonna be play. Stafford's a good enough quarterback that if he sees a play where Odell's open, he's gonna give it to him. So I think it does limit Cooper Kupp's ceiling a little bit more, but I don't really think it still hurts him. I still think he's going to be the wide receiver 1 going forward for a while.
Yeah.
You know,
The
I
offense
don't think it
100%
hurt.
will still run through him.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt him that much, but I do think it caps his ceiling just a little bit because now there is one more mouth to feed, and it's solid being the third wide receiver there.
Yeah.
And again, Stafford's good enough to distribute that ball around like that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, now with the injury, I mean, that's kind of how I felt before the Robert Woods injury. Now with the Robert Woods injury,
yeah,
it's very interesting to see what Odell can do.
yes, that changes things drastically. Absolutely does.
I think so too. I mean, I think he's going to be on the field a hell of a lot more. I mean, this might be just NFL like relevancy, but Odell has such a big name within the NFL like network.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's gonna almost help Cooper Kupp because he's more of a threat than Robert Woods is.
I see what you mean.
Within the mental state of defensive backs and safeties.
No, yeah, I see what you mean. I think that definitely could play a role in it for sure.
Yeah, I think Cooper Kupp could. I mean, it's just fucking weird to say start going off, but because he's already going off.
He doesn't. Yeah.
I don't think Kupp's gonna see a dip at all in his productivity, fantasy wise or on the field. But I think Odell himself, obviously, he was like fantasy irrelevant in Cleveland.
Oh yeah.
And now he's definitely fantasy relevant. I think he's a strong wide receiver 2 option at this point, like Robert Woods was.
Yeah.
I think he is. I mean, Robert Woods was playing like a wide receiver 3 this year, but I think Odell could find himself being a wide receiver 2. I really do. I'm really stoked that I got him in a league.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree at all. That's what I was saying is I think, before the injury, like I said, Robert Woods level, but now out of that, like with the injury, I think it does definitely boost him for sure.
Yes, the Robert Woods injury too. I'm a guy who I have Odell on a team. I'm 8-1 in that league. And I have a plethora of wide receivers. So I'm just gonna run this by you because I got a trade offer today, and I think I'm gonna take it.
Oh yeah.
I got Debo. I got Deontay Johnson. I got CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Odell, Hunter Renfrow, fucking Jarvis Landry. I got a fucking shit ton of wide receivers. I need a running back this week. I lost Derrick Henry. I've lost Chubb this week.
Oh yeah, COVID shit.
The only problem is this person wants either Odell or Jalen Waddle for Melvin Gordon. I was thinking about doing Jalen Waddle.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you
because I need a running back. But Waddle already played this week, so that's like it's now at the point where if I want a running back this week, I either roll out with J.D. McKissick out there, or I flip Odell for Melvin.
That's why you picked up McKissick. I seen you pick up McKissick, and I was wondering why. See that?
I'm in a pickle, Dick.
That's tough.
It is tough because I really don't want to lose either one of them for that caliber of a running back.
Man, that's why I would see, because after all I just said about Odell, this is where I'd be willing to almost part with Odell for that over Waddle, just because we've seen Waddle be doing it, So
he be doing it, bro.
He'd be doing it. He'd be doing it this year. So with Odell, it's still just potential. So at this moment right now, because he hasn't done anything with the Rams, that's why I would lean more towards Odell.
That's why I think I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
Until this week's over to see because supposedly Odell's gonna play Monday.
I seen that he was gonna make his debut Monday, so I definitely excited to kind of watch that game. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I already flexed Waddle. He didn't do that great this week, but he's been solid. He had like 10 points this week.
Yeah.
But it sucks because if I knew Odell was playing, I probably would have flexed him. First game,
Yeah.
But I've honestly, with this other news, we got other injury news. Not really injury, but first person's going to be missing a game. Ben Roethlisberger, we got put on the COVID list today.
Yeah.
And this affects the thought process. I have Odell. I have Deontay Johnson. Do I play Odell over Deontay Johnson?
See, that
It's a
one, I
hell of a
think
risk.
that's one. That's what I was just gonna say. Is that one I don't think you get too cute with. I think you just roll with Deontay Johnson.
That's what I'm planning on doing.
I know it's Mason Rudolph, and like I don't know, he's not like the worst backup quarterback, but he's not
No, at
great. But
least they'll push
Deontay
the ball
Johnson's a
down the
good,
field.
yeah, and Deontay Johnson's a good enough receiver. He gets open. That's one where it's like, don't get too cute. Don't play
Yeah.
Odell
I
over.
also
I would
believe
go Deontay.
Claypool is out again.
Is he out again?
I'm not positive.
I can double check right now.
But if he's out again, I'm definitely playing Deontay.
Yeah, he's out. It says out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been ruled out. So his toe injury. I should know the dude's on my team, but
That's why I
just
brought it up,
I
hoping
haven't
you would just know.
well, I haven't played him in like I can't even tell you how many weeks. So like I did have to play him last week because all my receivers
we
were on a
should
bye,
give
but-
Joe shit because even though Jerry Judy's been hurt, Jerry Judy's still been better than fucking Claypool.
I mean,
Sorry. That's a guy I'd love to get in a league. I'd love to make a trade and get a Jerry Judy type player right now. Coming back from injury, he hasn't had a big game yet, but
I was looking earlier, and that was a guy because I know we are going to kind of talk about like daily fantasy and stuff. That was a guy that I kind of like against Philly a little bit, where like Philly's defense isn't that great. And I was reading earlier about hold on, let me see if I can pull up. They had some like crazy, just not crazy stats, but just terrible stats. Like they haven't won a game against an opponent with a winning record. And right there, I was like, well, I do think Denver's a better team than they are, anyways.
Yeah,
Denver's
I would agree with that.
Has been playing great too.
Yeah, ever since they gave up like 150 yards on the ground to the Browns.
Yeah, outside of that, like, oh, I don't remember what it was. It was something where it was just like, maybe it was like completion percentage or something for Bridgewater, and what the Eagles have given up completion percentage for quarterbacks is like 70-something, 75% or something, like ridiculous amount. So
Jeez.
That's where it was like, okay, so this could be a game where the Broncos just come in and they air it out. And that's why I think I could see Judy having a pretty decent game this week. Be a solid pick. He's a guy I would consider for lineups for Sunday.
Yeah, I've been on the Judy train all year. I was on it his first week back. I was on it last week, so I don't disagree with you.
Joe was the only one that wasn't on the Judy train.
No, he wasn't. He was like on a hill of like Jerry Judy sucks train. I got visibly upset one day.
Yeah.
But whatever. Let's pop into it. Since we're talking about it, let's pop into it. What do you fantasy wise? You said you like the Denver against Philly matchup for Denver's offense and Jerry Judy.
Which, and if you don't want to run, like if you end up going with somebody else for wide receiver, I think Fant would be a solid play too as a tight end in this offense because we've seen he gets the work in the offense. They do try and involve him. And again, if what I think could just be them throwing the ball a lot on the Eagles, that's another guy that's a big target for Bridgewater. So
yeah, for sure.
I think those two guys I like out of this, like for a lineup on Sunday, Judy or Fant.
Judy? It's hard for me not to say Judy like fucking Spy Kids.
I don't think I'd run both of them in the same offense at all, though. Or same lineup.
Yeah, especially if you're doing daily fantasy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't run that stack.
No, that offense isn't that prolific to run those two guys.
Yeah. Speaking of daily fantasy, you got a quarterback in mind you really like this week?
No, honestly, I didn't really look at quarterbacks too much.
I got one I love.
I was like I told you earlier, today's been crazy busy, so I started looking in this and I got some other players. Quarterback, I usually what I realize is I kind of save for last. If there's not a guy right away that pops, I'll kind of save it for last and see what there is.
Yeah. I got a guy I love this week.
Dak against Atlanta.
100%. Spending a little money, but I'm loving Dak against Atlanta's defense. Had a bad game last week. I think they're going to get it right, and they're going to get it right against Atlanta's terrible defense.
I can see that for sure. You know what's crazy? Is I was thinking the same thing. Now I don't, and I still think it. But I was looking at the just the breakdown of the game earlier, and where they won't load now. God damn it! But the Falcons' defense actually is not that bad. It was the 10th ranked defense, and
overall.
Yes, overall, and I was extremely surprised. So I started looking, and like they're not that terrible against the pass. Or I should say, I'm looking only as in the yards given up, total yards, I guess. So I
Yeah.
don't know about efficiency and all that stuff, but still, it's not terrible. It's like I was a little surprised because I still don't disagree though. I think Dallas just like absolutely shreds them. Because I don't know the games we've watched too, the Falcons. It's like their defense just looks shitty.
Yeah, their defense really isn't that good. They've had a stretch where they're playing really bad teams. Um so that kind of ups the numbers. I mean, they played the Jags, they played Miami.
Yeah,
I mean, they've played really bad teams this year. Um but I just think Dak at home against after dropping that game at Denver where they looked pitiful, I think that's just another step to it. I really like Dak this week.
yeah, that's solid. I do like that one.
Um I got a deep dive running back for you. You're gonna
Who's
laugh at
that?
this. You're gonna laugh at this because we joked about it last week. I should check something before I change my mind on it.
Hmm. We joked about it last week. I don't know if I remember.
All right, I'm actually gonna change it. It was Devin Singletary because Zach Moss
Oh,
was in
okay.
concussion protocol, but he did clear.
Ah, okay.
He did clear protocol, but there's the same exact money in FanDuel. They're both
How much are they?
6,000, which is cheap as hell for a
Oh,
starting running back.
I got
And
one
they're
even better
and
for
they're
you,
going
dude.
against the Jets.
Although, yeah, no, that's a solid matchup. But I got one. Although I say better, I was thinking about it earlier, and I was like, maybe this isn't as good a pick as I think it is. But I like Dearness Johnson. Cheap, he can get
Dearness
it done. But the only thing I don't like is the matchup this week. I think Belichick can like.
has a tough matchup.
That's the only thing I don't like is I think Belichick can take him out of it. So it's like one of those ones where I like it how cheap he is, and I'm kind of willing to roll the dice and throw him in a couple lineups just because I've seen what he can do.
Yeah,
But I'm not gonna like go heavy on him.
yeah, I wouldn't
But I like
either.
him as a cheaper option if that like it's just the appeal, just like stuff. Plus, I'm a Browns fan, so I'm a little
Yeah,
biased. So
here's why I would kind of fade Dearness this week in daily is because that's the obvious go-to guy for everyone. I mean, everybody's lineup almost gets you no advantage. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like leverage wise, at least. But I mean, I could see myself putting him in a lineup for sure, just to go heavy on other guys. You know, including which in this lineup that I have, I went Najee Harris as my number 2.
I do like Najee a lot this week too.
Versus Detroit, especially now the news with fucking Roethlisberger missing the game. I think
Yeah,
Najee's just gonna have a fucking week. He's probably like a lock pick for me. He'll probably be in a lot of my lineups. Totally goes against what I just said with Dearness Johnson, but I think Najee's the guy you gotta have in your lineup this week. He's
yeah,
worth the
I like
money.
him
I
a
think
lot
he's
this week.
worth. I think he's worth the
Yeah,
9,400. A guy I picked for a leverage reason. This is why I was talking about leverage because I was reading about daily fantasy. You know, me and you are kind of new to this stuff, and
yeah,
leverage picks are like huge. There was like this huge theory that you want to, you have an offense that's going to dominate a game, and everyone's going to pick the obvious guy. Well, you want to leverage that and pick the other guy who could go off in that offense that most people won't have the balls to take. I think this guy fits that this week, and it's Michael Pittman Jr. Versus the
okay,
Jags, I think everybody's picking Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he's been fucking going
yeah,
off,
and he
absolutely
probably
going
will
off.
still go off.
He
He
probably
probably
will.
still will. Yeah.
But I think Pittman has an opportunity to catch a couple touchdowns, maybe steal some
That's
fantasy points there.
That's funny because without really like diving into it too much like that to like think about it, I was going through like the Bucks wide receivers because I know Antonio Brown's out, Gronk's out, and Godwin's hurt. He is gonna play, but he was hurt,
Mm-hmm.
so he got an injury. Actually, let me double check to see if he was out. I might be totally lying and say didn't think. No, he is questionable.
It's
Okay, I
questionable.
thought. Yeah, okay. So he's gonna be hurt, but I was like, if he is hurt, obviously Mike Evans is gonna be the biggest beneficiary. But I was like thinking that Tyler Johnson is one where it could be, a cheap pickup, and he might be a guy that, sneaks in some catches and a touchdown or something. That could be one of those picks. They're not really likely name that you'd go for with the hurt, wide receiver core.
Yeah,
Most people are gonna take Evans right away.
I like that. I like it a lot. Another guy I like this week that's pretty cheap, tight end wise, Dan Arnold from Jacksonville. He's been seeing quite a bit of targets lately, and I think Indy might be up in this game where Jacksonville's going to have to come back from behind and throw the ball. So I think Dan Arnold could be a really solid. He's only $5,100 in FanDuel.
Damn, he has been seeing a lot of target. I don't know shit about this dude, but
Yeah, they
look,
traded for him in the offseason from Carolina. But he's been getting all fucking target share lately.
dude,
So I like that on top of the
like,
matchup. So
yeah, that's solid.
I'm really liking Dan Arnold. I did a lot of research in daily fantasy for this week.
Nice.
I'm trying to win, dude. Kyle winning 2K last week kind of sparked that fucking fire, dude.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, shout out to our boy Kyle. Came second place in a FanDuel last week. Won a cool 2K in a $2 contest.
Pay off.
What he did, he missed 5K by 3 points. The Packers
Something like
touchdown
that.
against the Chiefs. He had the Chiefs defense that cost him $3,000.
Yep.
Son of a bitch. And we'll never let him forget it. My favorite flex play, at least in this lineup, is DeAndre Swift. I think
DeAndre Swift, yeah.
I think that's just a lock play. I think they're going to be behind. I don't think Goff's going to have much time. I think there's going to be a lot of dink and dunks. And Swift might have like 11, 10 catches. Who knows?
That's who I had as my flex as well. Was Swift. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
He's been a dude. He's solid every week, and he's got the potential to go off every week too, just depending on how game flows. But even still, how the games flow, he's still going to be heavily involved enough to just put up solid numbers.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't really look at is fucking defense. I didn't really.
I always pick the defense last. It's kind of like just a toss up for me.
Yeah, I usually try to pick the best of the worst.
Yeah.
Which right now on like cheap scale is probably the Panthers, but they're going against Arizona. Now, if Colt McCoy plays again, I love that. But if he doesn't and Kyler plays, don't love that. I think Kyler's set to play.
Kyler, is he on schedule to play? So they just have him as questionable. Yeah, this game day decision. The difference this time is that Murray has practice, albeit once on Friday was in a limited capacity. Or I guess it was. Oh, okay, so he didn't practice Friday, but every other practice was limited capacity. So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
I would almost think that he's probably got a decent chance to play, probably like a 75% chance to play.
Yeah.
I'd say something like that.
That's the only thing. I mean, I love the Panthers D if he doesn't play. Love him. Other than that, just kind of pick and hope. I'd probably stay away from Washington against Tampa because Washington's D has been atrocious.
Yeah, theirs has been hella terrible.
But other than that, pick away. Good luck.
Yeah.
Would you? I mean, thinking about it, would you consider the Lions with fucking going against Rudolph?
I mean,
They're the second cheapest defense on FanDuel.
it's one of those ones where it's like, so say you could only pick. Say you only had like $3,300 left. You had the Chargers on down there: Chargers, Falcons, Lions, Jets.
Here's a
I would almost think Chargers, but I would definitely Lions out of those. Like, it's not terrible because with Mason Rudolph, yeah, it could be.
let me throw this at you. My other cheap player I have in this lineup is Donovan Peoples-Jones. I can upgrade him to Jerry Jeudy if I switch from the Panthers to the Lions.
I like that. I do like that. I do think Jerry Jeudy could have a solid ass game this week. There's a lot of things trending in that direction. I could be totally wrong. This could be a game where Cortland Sutton bounces back because he had a like terrible last week. I'm pretty sure when
Well,
Denver was destroying Dallas.
if
But
I remember correctly, his big weeks came when Jeudy was out.
I know he did have some big weeks for sure. Let me see. I'll pull up his stats here. I know for sure he did have some of those big ass games when he was out.
It was week 2.
Week 2, week 5, and 6, he absolutely like went off.
Yeah, and all those Jeudy got hurt beginning of week 2, right?
I believe wasn't it in the first? I thought it was almost immediately. I think you're right though. Might have been the second
I
week.
think it was
know
like
it was
the first
really
quarter
early.
of the second week.
Yeah. So yeah, he played full game first game, and then came back week 8, and then last week. Again, though, yeah, I think things are trending in that direction where this could be a huge game for Jeudy.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm fully on the Jeudy train. So, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, just as much as I like him as a cheap play,
Yeah,
it's Belichick, man.
that's what's tough. It's really
It's
tough.
tough. It's tough to pick.
That's why it's like I
against
like
Belichick.
the Giannis play, but like it's just I'm gonna put him in a couple lineups, but not
Oh
that
yeah, I'm
many.
not done. That's just one lineup I made out of like 5.
Yeah,
I'm not one of those people that makes one lineup and sets it everywhere. I like to have different lineups,
yeah.
spice it up a little bit. Come on.
Yep. Got it.
But those are some of the guys I like. I think Dan Arnold was a big one. And then Najee and then Dak. I guess I have 3 guys I really, really like. I might have them in a lot of lineups.
Yeah.
Especially Dan Arnold. I really, really am sold on Dan Arnold this week. And it'll probably make you look like a jackass. So what are you gonna do?
It wouldn't be the first time.
No, wouldn't for sure. Definitely won't be the last either. So that's fine.
No.
Speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. Did you see Adam was at the Rocky run?
He was saying something about it yesterday. I didn't get to see. Did he actually did a video and stuff of it?
Yeah, he went live on his own personal Facebook. With it. He's going to be putting a video together for the podcast.
Okay.
But it looked pretty cool. They were playing all the Rocky music in the background.
Just getting people hyped.
Yeah, his dad was pretty hyped up, so it was funny. And then I went to a gaming convention today. That was pretty sweet. I took a lot of photos. I'm going to be posting those on our Facebook and shit. Probably some on our Twitter. I didn't take any video because a bunch of nerds walking around in a convention.
Yeah.
Not much to video. The coolest thing and one of the most expensive things I saw there was a rare Nintendo 64 Pikachu edition.
Oh, one of those?
Yeah, dude.
I remember like when I was little, those like came out, but like
yeah,
I just had
it was
like, a normal
in the
N64.
box still.
That's fucking sweet.
The guy had $880 on it.
God damn.
Yeah, I was it's so sweet though.
I like Pokemon and stuff and the nostalgia and all that, but I don't know about $880. That's insane.
I did purchase something while I was there.
Some sweet shit, dude. Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Spider-Man Sega Genesis game. Because I have a Sega Genesis still. But yeah, guy had $15 on it, took 12.
Not bad.
But the case is in fucking great condition.
It looks like it is.
It's not really faded. It is, but it like you can tell it's in good condition. The game looks like it's in great condition. So I was stoked about it. I was like, this is fucking sweet. I just gotta find a old TV to hook that bitch up and play it every now and then. I want to.
Yeah. Oh, you have to.
Yeah. I know I sent you the picture of the guy with the golden axe fucking jacket.
Yeah,
that was
pretty
so.
sweet.
You walk by, I was like, you gotta be shitting me. So that was cool. There was a whole. I don't know if I sent you the picture of it. There was a whole row of TVs in the one room, and they were doing a Tecmo Bowl tournament, and all these old guys were wearing like old NFL jerseys, sitting there playing it, and I was like, look at this shit. So I'll have that picture up there. That was cool. Yeah, but I mean, it was a good time. It's a small convention, but it was a good time. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
For a day event. Anyways, getting back on track to football. You got anything else? Football wise? Any big stories you're looking forward to?
I mean, the John Gruden stuff.
Yeah, we'll see how what comes of that. Supposedly he's suing the NFL. Said some pretty damning things about Roger Goodell again.
Yeah.
And again, is he wrong? Probably not.
Not too many people that like Roger Goodell, so.
No, he's a cuck. Total cuck. I am interested to see what happens in the AFC North. Obviously, yeah, we're Browns fans, but that division is just, with Baltimore dropping that game this week, it's
huge.
That division is so tight.
Yeah.
So tight.
I don't even want to say I was surprised, because I did say during our podcast, I was like, I could see this being a weird game where Miami just comes out and like dominates and beat them. Even though I picked the Ravens, but it was just like, I don't know, it was weird. But like,
dude, they blitzed on like fucking 80% of their defensive plays.
I had seen like Lamar face the most pressure he's faced all season, basically. Like
it was crazy.
Just bringing it.
They ran the Kevin defense, dude. It was like fucking. They played man to man and they just blitzed, bro. They had like 4 men in coverage and just blitzed.
That's insane.
It was, and they couldn't do a fucking thing to stop it. They couldn't do a damn thing.
It's interesting when the Browns play them. You think Joe Woods takes note of that?
I hope so.
Because especially we've seen the last couple of weeks now, Joe Woods has actually started bringing a little bit of pressure, and our defense has kind of stepped up a little bit.
Yeah, well, he said in his last press conference he's gained confidence in his guys going man to man more often, and it's like, yeah, they're fucking good. Like, let's go.
Like, we have 2 first-round draft picks and cornerbacks.
Yeah, 3, but 1 can't stay on the field.
Oh, Greedy Williams, was he a first rounder?
I believe so.
Because Newsom was, right?
Yeah, Newsom
was.
I know
Newsom and Ward. Was Greedy a first? I thought he was a second or third.
Maybe he was a second.
But, I mean, still, it's
he definitely wasn't a third.
Especially Denzel. He's been here doing it. It's like, you telling me you can't trust these guys in man coverage?
Yeah, Greg Newsom looks like a stud, too.
Especially, and you go and sign John Johnson as your big time safety back there to, help lock shit down.
Yep.
I don't understand. But it's nice to see.
Greedy was in the second round.
Okay, second round.
But still.
Yeah. But no, I hope Joe Woods takes note of that. So when we play, because we got Baltimore bye week and then Baltimore again, right?
Yep.
So we pretty much play them back to back. Like, it's got me a little more excited now about us playing them, because I was down on the Browns a couple weeks ago. They pissed me off. But now it's like, okay.
Odell's gone, dude. It's the Odell effect. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I don't know if you're wrong.
We'll see how it plays out. The division's just tight as hell.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. And hopefully Pittsburgh finishes in the basement, like I said they would in the beginning of the year. So, and hopefully it starts by losing for the first team to lose to Detroit this week. That would be epic.
That would be awesome. That's what I'm hoping for.
It'd be great.
The only thing that would make that Ravens loss even better is the Steelers losing. It's like, oh, that's even big.
And since he's on a bye, so we'd be the only team to win. Yep. Hopefully. New England's tough, man. New England's tough.
That's the only thing, is that is going to be a tough game.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. It feels like it's going to be a long Sunday. So I'm sure we'll be tweeting out. We'll be fucking watching FanDuel, hopefully celebrating another big win by one of us.
Hopefully, yeah.
Then we'll come back Monday. We'll recap it all and just BS with you boys. And gals, I'll say that so no Karens fucking comment on the fucking video. But
Gotta include everybody.
yeah, that's right. Enjoy your guys' Sunday. Have a good time. And good luck in your FanDuels or DraftKings, whatever you're doing.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you guys Monday. Peace.